The adulterated cough syrup tragedy in Madhya Pradesh, in which at least 25 children under 5 years of age lost their lives, has not only shocked the entire country but has also raised questions about the regulatory mechanism followed by the union and the state governments. For a long time, India's pharmaceutical industry has been accused of corruption, uneven regulation, and poor interstate coordination, and it continues even now, resulting in such horrific tragedies. In this week's In Public Interest, I am joined by G. Sukumar, who is the former Vice President of Federation of Medical and Sales Representatives Association of India and member of People's Health Movement, to discuss how flawed our regulatory system is and where the buck stops. Before I go across to him, here is a quick reminder. We could have discussed another topic on this show, but we decided to stay with the poisonous cough syrup tragedy because the mainstream media has stayed away from raising tough questions to the government and holding them accountable. In Public Interest is a show that raises these questions and concerns. When governments try to escape responsibility, these questions must be asked. And because of this, we get abused, trolled, and targeted. If you want us to continue what we do, please support us by becoming a paid subscriber of the News Minute or click the link in the description to contribute to our reporting fund. Mr. Sukumar, thank you so much for talking to us. Do you think if the authorities did their job, the Madhya Pradesh tragedy could have been averted?
Yes, definitely. If the authorities or enforcement authorities, if they have been investigating regularly, naturally all these deaths could be avoided. There is no second opinion on that. That is my blanket answer. That is, if you call this as a human error, administrative error, all error. It is not a single aspect. Only just because one person, you cannot point out single person alone. Administration, both central and state government, both are involved in this aspect. And how come this error can afford to take place, causing death, and that too on the medicine?
And that too, cough medicine is something which is basic, right? In India, many families, they give cough medicines to their children. And when, after consuming cough syrups, if there are deaths that are being reported, then this is an issue that should have been taken up very seriously. Do you think that the union government as well as the state government, are they approaching this issue with that kind of seriousness?
True, they are approaching. That's why they have taken some initiative by arresting the owner of the company, as well as the action has been taken on the two drug inspectors. But the question is, as far as medicine is concerned, you have rightly pointed out cough syrup. For every drug, be it a tablet or syrup or whatever it may be, that stability of the medicine should be maintained for some period. That's why you find the manufacturing date and expiry date. Why that expiry date? Beyond that particular date, it loses its stability. Then even if the doctor prescribe, and even if you take medicine, it will not give the concerned amount of therapeutic effect. Therefore, these two things are essential. That's why you find manufacturing date, batch number, everything is there. Manufacturer's name, somebody is manufacturing today, somebody is marketing. That's why you find in every strip or every bottle, manufacturer's name as well as promoter's name. So, all these details should be provided, and it is taken for granted that these things will be in order. But many, when you give a long gap, this is bound to happen. That means there is somewhere some lacuna, be it the state government or central government, where somewhere the lacuna is there with regard to the enforcing authority. Therefore, this death has taken place.
No, my question is like, how did a toxic substance slip into medicines that are meant for children?
There can be a lot of scopes. One is raw material supplier. There is one problem. In outside the can, suppose I am sending you a particular medicine. Outside the can, one name will be there. But what is there inside? Who is to know? This happened, this sort of situation happened way back in 1972 in Tamil Nadu itself. Outside the can, there was a name mentioned, but inside the can, there was a different material. Naturally, that caused a death. Now, who should take the responsibility for that? And even if that material is supplied, to what extent that the quality is maintained? Here the question is, as you rightly pointed out, when it is adulterated, propyl glycol should be added. Even that is given as 0.1%. But how come this drug diethyl glycol is added, which is toxic, which will cause nephrotic, that is kidney, it will impair the kidney functioning. How this is added? Only drug authorities has to do.
Okay, now tell me, like people who are supplying raw materials, do they also come under the drug control authority?
Yes.
So the inspection should have been carried out there as well?
Yes.
Not only in the pharmaceutical companies.
Yes.
It should be at the
Yes.
at the places where raw materials are also being applied.
Yes. There are so many chemical factories in India, throughout the country. Everywhere these they are supposed to go and investigate what is the raw material and what for it is used. It should be known. It cannot be dealt under the carpet.
But is this happening regularly?
That is a $1 billion question. The authorities are taking things for granted.
Now, when you say that authorities are taking things for granted, I have been talking to drug inspectors, people from the healthcare industry. They say that they don't have enough manpower to, monitor the movement of raw materials, and all this. And particularly in this case of Sresan Pharma, I visited the company. It's like a shed, a 2,000 or 4,000 square feet area where there is absolutely nothing. When you look at the inspection report, there are 364 violations. They don't have anything which is basic that is required to run a pharmaceutical manufacturing company. How did a company run like that, right under the nose of drug control authorities?
You say that you are getting the report that enough number of drug inspectors are not there. That means inspection would have not taken place in this unit, manufacturing unit. Because for every 200 manufacturing unit, one drug inspector should be there. That means the allotted number may be something, but how many are really working and whether they are well equipped for inspection. And when you say that when 360 violations are there, both the central and state government administration should take the responsibility for it. Simply allowing, blaming one company alone is not the question. The entire in charge, CDSCO, central government authority, state drug authority, both should take the responsibility for this. There is a lacuna in these two administrations. That's why this has happened.
So when you say that there is a lacuna, are you trying to tell me that it's because regular inspections were not carried out in these pharmaceutical manufacturing companies that has led to this tragedy, or even batch wise they should be carrying out inspections? What is the time frame that they have for these inspections, drug inspectors particularly?
See, normally one batch you will find. First, let me answer your point. Periodical investigation means each drug has its own periodicity. That is known through the drug authority. That is defined by the Drug Authority of India, that is CDSCO, as well as the Director General of Pharma, DCGI. So, Director General of Government of India, as far as pharma is concerned. They are the people who issue the license to manufacture all those things. And state drug authorities are there. They are supposed to go and investigate. And this quality has to be tested every time. Each drug has its own periodicity, which these people are aware. Why that inspection has not been carried out? When 360 violations are taking place in this pharmaceutical, so-called pharmaceutical company, how administration has kept silent? So, the responsibility lies not only with that manufacturer, it is a system I am questioning. I am questioning the very veracity of the system. So much of lacuna, therefore this death. Now, state government is going to take the responsibility or central government is going to take the responsibility?
Now, in this case, the state government has suspended 2 senior drug inspectors who were responsible for not, carrying out inspections, periodic inspections and all that. But is that action enough, or what more
That
needs
is
to be done?
insufficient. But you can investigate by arresting, but then you can investigate them. Where exactly happened, what exactly happened, when you last visited, and thereafter why you did not visit, what was your problem? If that man says administrative problem, he cannot be simply blamed for it, right? That is a one side of the story. But otherwise, including the raw material supplier, here it has to be tested. Where from these people have got the raw material? How come that got mixed into this? Whether it is deliberate or it is a mistaken identity of the raw material. Where does it stand? How come this happens? That is a question. All these things, it is the drug authorities who have to take the responsibility.
Now, the question of substandard drugs making way into smaller villages and rural areas, do you see this as a pattern that is happening, or like what is the case? Because
many patterns are there. These people, they give ad. There are so many methods by which every pharma company, they provide the detail that these are all the drugs at these prices we provide. So, internet facility is there. So, directly particular why Madhya Pradesh, even from Haryana they can purchase. From Haryana people are purchasing here in Tamil Nadu. So, Tamil Nadu fellow does not go and check what is the quality with which they are working.
Then who checks?
Same drug authority in that particular state, they are supposed to do it. They are supposed, every state should have the state drug controller. They are the people who are to do, under the guidance of CDSCO, Central State Drug Authority organization. Yeah, they are the people who have to give the guidance. This is a standard. Every drug has to be there. This is a excipient that should be given. In this case, the excipient to maintain the taste, diethylene glycol is added instead of propyl ethylene glycol. Why that is added? Which diethyl is a toxic material. How toxic material are added? For taste, for the cost factor. When I cross check this diethyl glycol is much cheaper than glycol and glycerin. So, naturally glycerin and other things are added, but this is much cheaper. Whether this cheaper aspect is taken into consideration by the manufacturer and he wanted to market, what is that? Because now the competition plays role. So, whether this is a factor, if that is so, how come this was permitted? Once again it comes under the state and central government drug authorities.
So, each batch has to be checked, and there is no procedure where these batches of medicines are checked. When government purchases these medicines, what happens?
Same procedure, everything has to be standardized and checked. Only then they are supposed to take it.
Tested.
Yeah. That is why way back Lentin Commission was constituted in JJ Hospital, Bombay, when deaths took place in that medicine. Whole nation was shouting how that can happen. Say that is an infusion system. This is a problem. Once in a while it keeps happening throughout the globe, not only in India. Throughout the globe this is taking place. That shows these areas like CDSCO or other central state government authority, there is a lacuna in monitoring, enforcement authority, enough staffs, enough testing mechanism. These are lacking. That is why these things are existing. If this is corrected, this cannot afford to take place.
Another tragedy like this would not happen. In this case, there are companies that manufacture drugs, but the marketing part of it is outsourced to another third party.
Yes.
So when the marketing aspect of it comes into the picture, like I'm saying, medical representatives, they try to influence doctors, they try to, indulge in unfair trade practices to push the medicine into the market, to ensure that the doctors, prescribe these medicines. Bribes are being paid, commissions are being given. How do you control all this?
Yeah,
Like, this is something that has been happening every day in and day out.
Almost I should say more than 2 decades back, this has been raised by Federation of Medical and Sales Personnel Association of India. We have brought it to the knowledge of the government. This sort of sponsoring should be put an end to. Some even Indian Medical Association, they have passed a resolution that doctors should oppose this sort of thing. But to what extent it is, the doctors are taking the position. But as a seller, marketing, I am greedy of marketing my drug. Competition, I want to make my profit. So many clandestine method. Medical reps does not have the role. It is without the knowledge of the top management. This cannot take place. So it is a top management of the respective company. They are indulging in this dirty tactics. I cannot claim even 10 rupees extra in my allowance. My manager will cut off. So without top management involvement, these sponsorship can never take place.
So now you said something which is very interesting. You said the companies are greedy. Can you give us some examples in your experience as to the kind of malpractices these companies indulge in?
See, many there are those people who are promoting diabetic drug, cardiac drug, psychiatric drug. These companies are indulging in these tactics.
How?
How in the sense? Their conference can be sponsored by these companies, display that board about their drugs. These are all the things, all right? And the doctor will be asked to prescribe just because they have sponsored their conference. They may be influenced to write those prescriptions. This is one aspect of it. Otherwise, there will be, if they are dispensing doctors. Suppose I have I am a doctor, I am having a psychiatric patient, and I have my own pharmacy. Huge discount will be given to me. That is one way. Otherwise, I am not, I don't possess a pharmacy, but I am a prescriber. Yes, if you prescribe so much of value, you will be given this. AC will be fixed or your room will be modernized, something. There are many ways. These things are undercutting method. It is taking place today, not only in India, globally.
Now, talking about it, there is one interesting case that the income tax authorities were looking at is the Dolo 650 case, where doctors were bribed, medical representatives were taken on a junket to foreign countries, huge amount of money exchanged hands to prescribe this medicine. Despite having, cases like this, is this something which is very regular thing in pharma industry where bribes are paid and
Yes.
medicines are pushed into the market?
There not be any reluctance in telling that. It is quite regular, quite regular. Otherwise, there are some, I think, 1.5 decades back, from how come managers of the company, they were pushing the stocks to Bangladesh through Calcutta border from Gujarat. Top managers were arrested. Glaxo managers were arrested for this type of activity in China. How this has taken place? That means worldwide, every multinational, every company, there is no single company, whether it is an Indian company or multinational, no difference in this. Their objective is nothing but profit. And for that, they will do anything. This is obvious throughout the world. And the pharma industry, nothing will be, nothing will come to limelight unless something happens like this. Even doctors will not know that. They also take for granted. Government also take things for granted. People also take things for granted.
Now you say that pharma companies will not get punished. There are laws that can punish the doctors if they are found guilty of doing something wrong. What about the pharma companies?
There are laws. Drugs and Cosmetic Act, laws are there. There are mechanism. Why? As far as pharma factory is concerned, pharmaceutical factory, There are various procedures. It should be fully furnished. It should be fully air conditioned, equipped in all aspects. All right. And the workers should be tested every time for any illness, because who is attracting what sort of infection, nobody knows. So, they should be medically equipped and treated if it is so. If somebody is affected with some other disease, he should not be allowed to enter into the factory. After the treatment only he should come. These provisions are there. But how many are doing it? Today, most of the drugs are manufactured by small sector. What is a guarantee that these drugs are standardized and inspected by the authorities? That is a question. You go visit Haryana, you will find thousands of manufacturing units like Sresan. How it is maintained, what standard is maintained, it is another big area.
Sir, you also mentioned something which is very interesting. Whether the doctors are trained, they are equipped to know whether the drug that they are prescribing is safe drug or no. That's one important question. Do they have the required training or the expertise to find out about the drug?
Definitely. Even in the second year itself, every doctor is taught and given full brief about the biochemical aspect. They know what are all the components. Even if they do not know, they ask medical reps, company, what are all the components. Sometimes they even ask their own colleagues whether this is useful, whether this can be safe, whether all this interaction takes place amongst the doctors also. And today with the internet world, all these things come out. But here the question is that to maintain the stability of the drug, some component is added. That is the issue. So, every doctor knows what is the effect of the drug, what is the side effect of the drug. Every chemical has its own effect and side effect. There is no drug you can say free of side effect, because everything is a chemical.
And when they know that a drug is like problematic, what is the mechanism that they have to recall the drug? Like how often does that take place in India? Because particularly in the case of cough syrups, it's been, there have been reports from other countries as well. Since 2017, there has been issues. Since 2019, deaths have taken place because of cough syrups, particularly in countries like Gambia and Uzbekistan and all that. But have they done enough to recall these medicines?
Yes.
Is there enough awareness that is being created about these medicines?
After the impact of some death or some other implications only, it has come to the limelight, and all these batches are withdrawn. And only later on they should go for investigation, why this has happened, how this has happened, all these questions comes. A thorough investigation should be there, otherwise we will miss the track.
And then how can a public, a layman, a common person can find out whether this drug is safe or not? Because when a drug like cough syrup is poisonous,
see,
it's shocking.
That is very difficult to answer for the simple reason. Suppose a person in our country, you know the literacy, right? How a common man will know that this drug is safer or not? Who will have the idea of going and investigating? They take the doctors into confidence and they prescribe. The doctors take confidence on the brands and the ingredient. They write decent companies only, no doubt about it. We cannot go. But the whole issue is that within the drug, for the stability, like that, if you go through any medicine or whether it is tablet or any syrup, you will find excipients. These excipients is there to maintain the stability. So, doctor will know only these two ingredients. Suppose there are 3 ingredients in a cough syrup or some tablet. They know only about this component, but they won't know what is the excipient component. That is where the problem comes. Excipients added for the stability. Excipients added sufficiently or some quantum. It should have been mentioned. But what is that excipient? Who will go? That there comes all the drug authorities. Which ingredient can be added to improve the taste, the bitterness of the medicine, how you can, and to what milligram, Now, in this case, it is 0.1 milligram. How it got exceeded? So, these comes under the drug testing authority. That is a responsibility of this central drug authority as well as the state drug authority.
And both of them have failed.
Yes, yes, yes. Here it is, as far as I am concerned, both faltered on this area.
Right, sir. Thank you so much for talking
Thank
to
you,
us.
very kindly.